Female character designs. I know them, you know them, we all simp and basically jerk to them. But when it comes down to it though, some of the best stuff is easily, at least from my personal opinion, the unhinged and very much bright colors, right? At least for me, because I don't want to see things muted in color. I think muted colors are boring as hell, and that means your character is boring as hell. At least that's what I interpret. And then I like to see characters be a bit crazy. Not necessarily all the time, but when it comes down to it, to make a character not feel natural, like they are, you know, bigger than what we originally thought. That's why seeing characters break down and go the other way and just fall from, honestly, grace, it kind of makes the characters, in my personal opinion, 10 times more interesting, at least to me. See, I kind of played Metaphor Refantasio and beat it last night, and 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 maybe type of game, honestly. But when it comes down to it though, I really didn't care for any damn character. There was not a character in there, at least for the most part, design wise, I didn't care for, because everybody was just not somebody I really cared for. And also there's written reasons as to why, of narrative, but still, it's just like everybody's kind of bland, except for Fabian and Gallica. Those two easily are like, oh hell yeah, this is pretty nice. Gallica doesn't make a lot of sense for hers, but she's brightly colored and that's all that matters. And then Fabian, while she is a bit darker, she just got that sleek, elegant look of, damn, I'm a fine ass chick. Don't you want to come and clap my cheeks real quick? Yes I do, please. And that's just kind of how it is. But essentially, I like those characters because one feels a bit more simple, but also sleek in design. But also at the very same time, you got one that's like brightly colored as hell, and you know, you get ideas for stuff, and that's just kind of how it is. So for me personally, I feel like if you have a simple design, unhingedness, and or, you know, brightly colored stuff, you can basically get away with getting my attention, honestly. At least when it comes down to, you know, if you make it good and you care, right? Like, for example, if you have someone like Tomoko is easily one of the characters that you would think, yeah, that's a background character. She's just a background Chan. You know, that's just all that is. There's not really much to her. And there really isn't. Until you realize the show is about her, and then you look at all the stuff that happened in the show, it's just like, oh yeah, she does matter, right? And that's kind of like the whole thing. Her design doesn't scream, hey, look at me, bitch. But at the end of the day, it's supposed to be like that. Because yes, she's just some random ass chick who has wild and ass thoughts that are a bit cringy and a bit funny at the same time, right? Like, I get it, people don't like the show because it's super cringy, but she has some funny ass clips. I'm not necessarily gonna lie. Like, wanting to murder people because she think, oh, someone stole my umbrella, but it was actually just like 2 feet to the left. Just look to the left, chick. That's all you have to do. But my point is, a simple design works. Hell, even something like Eden's Future Reviewer or Edith and Deities, they have brightly colored characters and simple designs for the most part. And when it comes down to it, because like, really think about it, like, look at Miku for 5 seconds. She has just nothing but a red leotard and some red ass boots, red Octobers. That's all she has. And yet, why is she so magical looking? Right? Why does she give you the air of brattiness to her? She also has like this nicely brightly colored type of purple hair, and at the very same time she also just looks a bit brighter compared to the rest of your boring ass background characters too. You know, she just had the air of brattiness and just brightly coloredness. Like, I'm never going to forget Miku, because how did someone make her and how is she so damn fine? The same way I'm not gonna forget about Inner Future Reviewers characters. Like, you know, how you gonna have all these demon characters running around, they just look great, and literally like the Salamander character who just steals the show for being bright as hell and red as freak. So it's just a lot of stuff in there where it's just like, yeah, it's amazing because they use bright colors and then they use something simple, but they know how to mix it well and still give a shit about the design. But what about that unhingedness I talked about? Well, one of the two, I guess, examples I could really use, even 3, is like things like Kill la Kill or Danganronpa mainly, or even Kakegurui if you really want to. Because for me personally, I really love, you know, the female designs of Danganronpa characters, because it's pretty much almost no design that I really don't really care for outside like Sakura, because yeah, it's obviously like a joke, but still nonetheless, when it comes down to everybody else, Yeah, no, I could see you just wanting to clap. Like, even Tenko's a male hating ass. Like, yeah, no, I'm running the game. We're absolutely running some meat through them cheeks. Like, there's no damn way that you're gonna sit here and just not let me do that. Like, cause it's gonna happen. I don't care. It's going to. You're gonna deal with it, Tenko. Deal with that shit. And that's just kind of how it goes. And at the very same time, you do get the unhingedness. Like how Junko looks crazy all the time for a despair dick. Like, that's just kind of how it is. And at the very same time, it just makes her look interesting. It makes her look crazy. And every time she switches her personality, is also a bit of unhingedness and goes a bit crazy as well. And it's just good quality content. It's just good, right? And then Kakagiri takes it to a different type of level where everybody basically looks the same because they wear the school uniform. But then when they get to those scenes where everybody looks crazy, like, yeah, you're getting something there. Like, I'm never really going to forget, Yumiko looking mad wild. I'm never really going to forget even the simplest stuff like Kirara Moabami, who has this air of elegance and just air of making you feel poor. Like, I ain't gonna necessarily lie. She looks like the type of chick that somehow bought your house for $10. Don't know how she did it, but she just did it and then slapped you with money that you can never have. That's the air I get from her. So there's like plenty of ways you can go about like character designs and stuff like that, and they're all interesting to a absolute T. Even designs that is like, maybe not that much of a standout can give you basically ideas of what that character can be. But my thing is, I bring up all these character designs because I find it absolutely funny how many different characters can look, how they can just be, how they all can be just from different shows, different ideas and minds, and yet basically everybody is valid as hell that you would want to go with, right? That you honestly gonna like, and that you probably gonna even clap if you could, right? Because I can see something that people might like in Nezuko, and somebody might say the same thing about, oh, I don't know, maybe like Washu or something like that, right? Two different shows, yet for some reason, clappable designs, and they're amazing, right? And it breaks into a one more tangent I want to go basically over and cover, which is essentially, my own characters, because of course I do. I spend a lot of time working on these damn characters to make them look good. Shut your ass up and enjoy. One of the characters I really want to talk about, mainly more so than anybody, is Symphony. Easily the most character I want to talk about, right? Don't get me wrong, I like all my designs. I like all the girls because they look good and stuff, and you can pick apart and tell certain things about each girl, and that's fine. But Symphony, I feel like, has like a fair amount of story with her, besides Blue, and that's just kind of how it is. And Yukari too, I guess you could say. All of these girls again, all have stuff, but we're gonna focus on Symphony. Like, if you've seen her before, or if this is your first time really seeing her, like, literally take a guess. Do you think she's the type of girl that's like really goody and really just positive all the time, or does she look like someone that is, a bit dark, someone that has a bit of negativity to them? And you kind of basically tell that, yes, it's the negativity part because of her hair. And that's kind of like a big thing I wanted to do, was essentially make every character have different hair colors and different changes into it, so they can have like, this air about them where it can be a bit this, be a bit that, kind of can feel a bit more brighter here, a bit more brighter there, and all that type of stuff. And that's kind of essentially what I wanted to do, because I feel like every girl here is reflective of my own self in a way, right? And Symphony covers, I would say, the negative side I have, the darker side I have, the more unhinged side I have at times, that, that really doesn't necessarily need to show itself for a bit of stuff, right? And so when it comes down to it, there is a very big line, especially in the story, where you basically see how unhinged she can actually go, especially if you've watched and, basically listened to the whole arc that happened at that point in time. But essentially, she looks like the type of character that does dark stuff because she's murdered tons of people in her own world and universe, right? She killed everybody, essentially. And she was gonna do it again because she was just gonna let the spirit roll her whole entire life, because she didn't really feel like she was cared about. And that's kind of how it was after the first time, she was betrayed, and she just let basically despair role in her life. Hell, I even went out of my way to design a different version of what she even looked like in her original universe. And so, yeah, wide ass mouth, blank ass eyes, elongated ass ears. This is not my symphony. This is not the symphony that we all know and grow and like if you again paid attention. But when it comes down to it though, this was the symphony from back then, and she's gotten a bit better now because she has an attachment to Jay and just her new friends and stuff like that. So she's a bit better. She still can be crazy. Like she still can just go with that weird demon side if she wants to, but she doesn't really have a giant reason to unless there's a push to go for that area. But that's just kind of how it is, and each girl has like their own, you know, unique part of them as well, that's like, you know, reminiscent of the things that they've been through in their whole lives and storytelling, and you know, that gives you a bit of storytelling about them and stuff and all that sort of ways. You have so many options for character designs. Even invisibility could be a sexy ass character design for whatever reason, and it just works. Sometimes shit just works, and it's like it's very hard to make a bad character design that no one is gonna really sit here and like. Even fat women can be a good character design, as I learned last year, and that was just amazing to me. So my point is though, is that there is plenty of things that makes up a good character design, plenty of things that you could enjoy and like, and all of it can be very much be subjective. You might like stuff that's story related, you might like stuff that is again brightly colored, or more unhinged designs and things and stuff like that, and that's perfectly fine. Because at the end of the day, that's the biggest, probably the biggest part of why, you know, you like a character out of anything, because it's the most subjective part of what you're gonna enjoy and what maybe somebody else is gonna enjoy, and that's perfectly fine. And I think that's honestly the most valuable part of a character. Like before you watch an anime or before you jump into a game, what does the characters look like? That basically dictates everything. Because if you don't like what you're seeing, you're not probably going to pick it up and just enjoy it for what it is. And that's just kind of how it often goes. So it just comes down to, again, your personal touches, your personal appeals, and all that type of stuff, and what you want to see. And that's really all there is to it. So hopefully you did enjoy this one. My voice is dying, by the way. If you did enjoy this one, hopefully you will hit that subscribe button. We're close to 4K. Let's get that. And then at the very same time, hit the like button as well. And so also follow me on the socials. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, Kofi and Cash App is available as well. And until then, it's boy Jay, signing off. Have a blessed day.